I'm an American and I went to a Chinese hospital. Here's my experience. The doctor's appointment was so easy to book. I just booked on the machine and a kind staff member came to help me. After I got my appointment, I was able to see the doctor very quickly. In America, sometimes it takes months just to get a specialist appointment. But here, I was able to do it in one day. The doctors were very professional and they work extremely hard. The appointment was $4 without insurance. In America, this would cost at least $300 without insurance. Unbelievable. In the hospital, every worker knew what they were doing and they didn't make any mistakes. Everyone is playing their role to absolute perfection. Considering China has so many people, I'm very impressed by how efficient the healthcare system is.
My source is that I made it the f*** up.
I'm in a
Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who didn't catch this, this is massive propaganda. And you might think like, what is this dopey clip? But okay, it was shared out by a massive Twitter account.
Yeah, it was this Wall Street Apes. We're not familiar with this account.
Can
it
you
was
can
big.
you read the description?
Yeah.
Over there, what does it say in that
American goes to see a doctor in China. He describes the process. No appointment needed. Just walk in. You don't need to see a primary care doctor before seeing the specialist. Appointments and test results are same day. Cost was $4. Something is very wrong in America. You know what that reminds me of?
America Bad Party, America Bad.
This is what we call ABP, America Bad Party, when America's bad at all costs.
Yes.
The problem I have with this is I don't know this account, right? But what we did find later is they didn't create this.
Can I tell you how many views this particular clip has gotten? Last time I checked this morning, 5.6 million views.
Okay. Now, there is something wrong with America's healthcare system, but you don't use fake Chinese propaganda to prove that. How about we use facts and logic?
Yes, okay.
Let's go through this.
There's so many things to break down in
'cause
this particular video.
big.
And this is right in my wheelhouse. You know why? Because I know this hospital. You know why? Because I've worked at that hospital. Do you guys remember I used to train doctors in China? That was what I did for a living before I became a full-time YouTuber. Well, I happen to work in this particular hospital.
Yeah.
So I know a lot about this. And I know that this guy is talking a lot of crap. And so we're going to have to break this down.
go through
So
it.
let's do it.
Everyone is playing their role
Blah,
to
blah, blah, blah,
absolute
blah. Oh man, this guy just irritates me. Let's get past it.
perfection. Considering China has so many people, I'm very impressed by how efficient the healthcare system is.
My source is that I made it the f*** up.
I'm an American and I went to a Chinese hospital.
Okay, so it's very easy to find out what hospital it is because I used to work there. Well, I've done work there, I should say. Because, what I do as part of a medical training company is I go to all the hospitals around Shenzhen and I do either medical terminology, hospital etiquette, English, all these different things that I would help to train the doctors, specifically doctors that were going to be part of these courses where they do like an internship in Australia and Germany. It was mainly those two. So I've been here before, so it's very easy. I was like, I know that place. All right, so it's the Nanfang Yike Dashui Yuan, Shenzhen Yuan, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go look at this hospital. Okay, this is what it looks like on the outside. For those of you who are not familiar with this, because if you saw the footage that he put out, it's so saturated and overdone. It looks unreal because it's been saturated to the max. This is what it really looks like. Okay. What I've done here is I've superimposed and kind of distorted one of the clips from his video to show you that it's the same building.
That's it.
As you can see there.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted you guys to notice there's a little URL, and this is very important. You're going to explain that a little later.
I will, yeah.
But there's a URL embedded in this video that was shared by this big account.
We had a bit of teamwork sleuthing
of
here.
course.
We've maybe exposed something very large.
Yeah, can you take a look at mitra.com? Just
Don't
remember
go
that.
there, by
Don't go there, but just remember that.
Just
okay?
remember it, yeah.
So this is from my own Google Maps. You can see I got lots of starred areas from places where I used to visit or important places around Shenzhen that I used to go to. And surprise, surprise, one of them happens to be that very hospital. Okay? So let's do a street view. We're going to go to that street view.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you don't see this in the propaganda, do you?
No, you wouldn't.
That's behind the hospital, all right?
Let's see this $4 no appointment hospital.
Yes. Okay, because this is the important thing. Because
In
remember,
America's bad.
no appointments. You can see a specialist straight away. Costs $4 for the whole thing. Take a look, by the way. They've got clothes hanging. What kind of a hospital has clothes hanging outside the windows? Okay.
Chinese hospital.
Yeah, just
They
so
don't
you
have
know.
soap either.
Yeah, exactly. just so you know, because people walk away impressed with this crap. But there you
Yeah.
can see the front of the building. You can see it's the same building. See?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
There.
found it. We found it.
Okay. In fact, pretty sure I superimposed. You can see there's
Yeah,
his
I
video.
see it,
There's the building.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
So that I recognize it straight away, like I said, because I've been there. This particular hospital is in the Bao'an district, but it's right on the outskirts of Nanshan district. For those of you who don't know, Shenzhen is a very expensive city. It's one of the 4 first tier cities in China. So this is like top of the pops.
This isn't representative of hospitals in China at all.
No.
Yet we're still going to debunk it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not. It's kind of like going to a hospital in downtown LA or something like it, the most fanciest hospital you can think of in America.
Yes.
You know, it's like
Yes.
top.
The best.
And in fact, this hospital, when it opened in around about...
Wasn't it like top 3?
Yeah, in 2015 or 16 when it
Yeah.
opened. I remember I was there for the whole opening ceremony and
Yeah.
stuff. It was part of a big special thing, like a kind of an international hospital drive thing. It was like, it's a very special hospital.
Right.
It's not
I
normal.
think it's top 3.
Yeah, it's
From what I remember.
I remember it's very special. Anyway, let's go take a look. You can see it's the same building.
Here's my
So-
experience. The doctor's appointment was so easy to book. I just booked on the machine and a kind staff member came to help me.
You know, the thing is that wasn't actually hospital staff. That was some.
volunteer.
It's a volunteer program, Shenzhen specific only, by the way, and it was set up for the university aid back in the day. Now, let's see about his appointment.
After I got my appointment,
What was that? No appointment needed.
He had
But
to
he-
go book an appointment.
he booked an appointment.
Somehow all of his information was already in the computer.
One thing, you see him walk up to that kiosk.
Yeah.
You don't just go like, I want an appointment and get an appointment. You need to have all of your details in the medical system. Now, in the olden days and in most hospitals still, you have a little book.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like a little medical book. And in there, it's got your details. And then when you see the doctor, they'll like staple in or stick in little stickers or whatever like test you need to get. In some of the bigger hospitals, they've made it digital now. But it needs to have your passport information. It needs to have everything about you. It takes a facial photo recognition of you and everything. You don't just go bleep, bleep, bleep. You go in and you have to input all your information into that thing. And then you have to pay first, by the way. Something most people don't realize. You have to pay before you can go see a doctor.
You in China will die on the street and they will forcibly remove you to die, bleed out if you cannot pay first.
Yes.
You will never, ever, not once be treated before you pay.
You have to pay. So that's one thing they didn't show. This guy had to go pay for his appointment first. And then he got his appointment. Apparently no appointments needed, though. You know what I'm saying?
after I got my appointment,
No appointment needed.
Good
huh?
jam.
after I got my appointment, I was able to see the doctor very quickly.
Very quickly.
In America,
Okay. One thing that's very annoying to me again is he's gone to one of the fanciest, most expensive hospitals in the city.
Yeah.
Okay.
For this propaganda campaign.
For propaganda to pretend it's normal.
He's just an actor.
When you go to hospitals in Shenzhen, and I've been to all of them, right? Most of them are jam packed all the time.
It's chaos.
It's horrible. Okay. Maybe you guys don't know, but my wife is a doctor, and a doctor from Shenzhen who worked in a clinic and a hospital. I've been to all of these, and it was my job. That's where I met my wife, actually, was through my job. I've been to all these places. So it makes me very annoyed when it's misrepresented like this. It's not. If you're a rich person, you go to this hospital, and it's usually going to be quite crowded anyway. So he's just...
Well, that's why
being
I'm
set
so
up.
glad that you did what you did, which you'll find out soon.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
disprove this. This is a bad one.
Yeah. So this guy, he's a South African, by the way, dual nationality South African, is going on about how America is somehow terrible and China is great. Let's see.
sometimes it takes months just to get a specialist appointment. But here, I was able to do it in one day. The doctors were very professional, and they work extremely hard.
How can you surmise that, by the way?
Yeah. Also,
Did you poll them?
I don't know if he saw a specialist.
We'll find out.
Yeah, because like he went and now he did go to see a doctor because, you know, you get your consultation, which he paid. He's paid for his consultation. He went to go get his consultation, right? After he paid for his appointment. But to say they work very hard, he literally went to the technician to draw blood because he's obviously getting blood
That's
tests.
such Chinese English, by the way. He's reading a Chinese script in English.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, or an AI
And he says
voice.
the appointment was $4 without insurance.
The appointment was $4 without insurance. In America, this would cost at least $300 without insurance. Unbelievable.
Okay, so let's take a look.
So this is at
this particular...
the
okay,
南方医科大学深圳医院.
do you know how I got these numbers?
Oh.
Is I actually got a hold of some of the people who work there and I asked them. Okay, because I used to work there myself.
Yeah, this is called fact checking.
So I'm
guys,
like,
what we
okay.
do here on the China Show.
I asked, okay, what's going on here? Give me a couple of basic facts here. So the registration fee is indeed $4. Okay, and that's when you walk up to that machine. Once all your information is in the system, you pay the 25 RMB, and that allows you to get your appointment to go and see a doctor. But to get a normal examination, and by examination I mean the consultation, when you sit down with the doctor, okay. For a GP, just for average stuff, like if you got the flu or a cold or whatever, it's between 100 to 500 RMB, so $13 to $67. If you want to see a specialist, like if you've got a special problem, and it depends if it's cancer or if it's an STD or whatever.
This
like,
is just to see. There's not treatment.
yes,
Just to see.
just to see. The specialist examination, they start at 200 RMB and they go into thousands of RMB. So it just depends. It can be quite expensive for your actual consultation.
Over $100, yeah.
This is not including any prescription or any drugs or anything like that, okay? The tests, so if you're going to get your blood tests done, the very lowest, cheapest tests you can get are 50 RMB.
And that's not a full panel.
That's $70, right? $7, sorry. But, you know, the tests can go up to 42 RMB, and I'm talking about like a full panel of of blood tests, right? So the lowest cost that your appointment can be is $25. The average cost is $73.
Correct.
Okay? So this whole idea that, you walked in there without an appointment and it only cost him $4 is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, because the lowest you're going to pay is $25.
This isn't the gotcha moment, by the way.
No. Okay. The average cost is $73. Okay. Let's move on because this is just your examination or whatever. This is not a treatment or anything like that. Okay. We decided, he said it's going to cost $300 in America. All right. Let's see. We asked AI to give us this answer, and it's between $75 and $200 on average.
Without insurance.
For urgent care.
If you just have a consultation.
Yes.
So we're just comparing apples to apples, right?
Yes, absolutely, without insurance. And I mean, there is a thing called urgent care. I've used it myself in the past, when my kid was sick and so on. And you don't need an appointment. You go in to the hospital. All the hospitals here have it in America that I've seen. You walk in, you don't have to pay. No, you pay after the fact. So if you got the flu or your kid's sick or something, you can go into...
Or you're dying.
Yeah, then you go to ER.
Yeah, I'm saying either one, you don't have to pay first.
Yeah, you can just walk in. You don't need to wait months for a specialist or you walk in.
They have specialist stuff there.
You go to urgent care, you say, I need to see a doctor because I'm, sick or whatever. And they're like, okay, go sit here or go sit there. You wait for 10, 20 minutes. Depending on the hospital, it can be an hour. And then you go see a doctor and then they prescribe stuff to you. That is, something I think everybody in America knows.
And if you're in urgent care and they said that's a serious problem that you need a specialist, you know what they do? They don't book you out 3 months in advance. You go to ER. They send you to the ER and you go see and get all those tests done. And they'll treat you and save your life and not kick you outside and let you bleed out. Because that's what they do in China.
I'm just trying to, we have to do apples to apples here.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, you can see it up here.
In the hospital.
By the way, I am not defending the American medical system.
No,
there are lots of problems.
But do it right. If you criticize, do it right.
Yeah, medical insurance is very expensive here. But if you work for a company, that's usually taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So every worker knew what they were doing, and they didn't make any mistakes.
How does he know that? He doesn't speak Chinese.
You walking around checking if doctors are making mistakes. He went around
Yeah.
with a clipboard and he's like, "Did you
Yeah,
make mistakes today?"
Yeah, did he go into like an operating theater and he's like, yeah, no mistakes here.
It drops a freaking drops a freaking mint in the guy's.
Yeah,
open
exactly. Well,
wound.
that wasn't a mistake. He meant to do that, you know. It's traditional Chinese medicine.
Everyone is playing their
Yeah,
role
exactly.
to absolute perfection. Considering China has so many people, I'm very impressed by how efficient the healthcare system is.
讲好中国故事。
讲讲中国故事。
Yes. So like I said, I reached out. There's me. Okay, you can see there I am when I was younger and thinner. Okay, I used to train these doctors. I used to interact with them. I used to go and drink with them. I used to hang out with them. Okay, have meals with them. I know these people. So I reached out to some people I used to work with at that hospital to find out just how much some of the common procedures would cost. Okay, without insurance. Because I think we have to be fair. Let's go through this. Because this is the unfortunate side effect of propaganda. Is now you've got 5.6, who knows, 6 million people out there.
Probably Americans. Yeah.
Yes, Americans looking at this Twitter post, watching this stupid video, thinking that it's free or really cheap to go to the hospital in China. And they're like, why is America so bad? China's got it all sorted out. You know what I mean?
And it's on purpose.
Yeah.
It's to cause chaos in America.
So let's take a look. Kidney stones.
So this is what you ask them.
Yes,
This is the doctors.
I asked these guys. Okay, here are a couple of basic things. How much do they cost? And they gave
give you
me
a
a
range.
they gave me a dagai. So if you want to get kidney stones sorted out, if there's nothing like serious and it's just a quick procedure, it'll be $279. But it goes up to $5,500 to treat that. Okay, that's US dollars.
Yes.
Okay, a broken leg can be anywhere from $5,500 to $11,000.
That's if it needs surgery. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's like one of those horrible where you see the bone coming out of your skin, it's going to be 11,000, okay? Appendicitis, anywhere from $2,000 to basically $3,000. Heart attack treatment, $11,000 up to $209,000 US dollars, okay? And one thing that really amps the prices up, by the way, is they have to import the specialist medical
From America.
goods. Yes. So if you have a broken leg and you need to get one of those splint, you know, like a pin in your leg or whatever, metal pin, you can get the local Chinese one.
Yeah.
But people would rather get the imported ones, which cost a lot more.
In fact, that your friends at the hospital told you most people here at this hospital, because everyone going here is relatively wealthy, because
Yes.
this is not indicative of China.
No, and remember, this is
we'll
one of...
pick the imported place.
This particular hospital is one of those special, it's got like an international certification for meeting certain standards. It is a special hospital. It's not normal, right? It's not normal in China. Heart surgery, anywhere from $7,000 to $100,000, okay? Then we've got diabetes.
so
to
that's
go
like
get
a full course, I
Yes.
guess, full treatment.
$20,000, $21,000. If you get a stroke, anywhere from $21,000 to $70,000. Okay, a single course of cancer radiation is $11,174. Okay, single course of chemo and radiation is $16,000, basically $17,000. And advanced cancer treatment is anywhere from $112,000, sorry, to $210,000. Okay, so now some of you Americans out there will be like, well, compared to our prices, that's cheap. Okay, but most people in America that are going to get these kind of surgeries done have some kind of medical insurance.
Hopefully, yeah.
If you don't, if you're poor, you're normally taken care of to a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree. Okay, I know there's a lot of
There's a lot
problems.
of bad stuff.
I know there's a lot of problems in the American health system, but also there's one thing that you have to understand is you might look at this and say, yeah, okay, whatever, $210,000 US dollars to treat my heart attack is cheap compared to America. But do you understand what people make for a living in this city?
This is the most important part.
What, like the actual salary people earn? Because maybe compared to your salary, you might think it's, you know, comparatively cheap. I mean, no one thinks $200,000 is cheap, but you know what I'm saying? You might think, oh, seems kind of reasonable compared to American numbers. But that's because you're earning American dollars, okay? The people that live in this city, in this particular area, well, we decided to take a look and see exactly what sort of salary they earn, so that we can give you a bit of an idea, right? It's, okay. The salary in Bao'an, Shenzhen, the middle class, is anywhere from $620 to $1,100 a month. Okay? So here's your kind of top end salaries, about $1,100 US dollars a month in that area where that hospital is.
The reason we chose that is that Shenzhen's pretty much the best city in China, just like New York City would be like the best city in America.
It's one of the top
neighborhood, a good neighborhood of that city, Bao'an, is like Brooklyn, a good neighborhood of New York City.
Yes, it's not downtown, it's just outside. Salary in Brooklyn, middle class, is $5,000 to $6,250 a month. Okay, so 88% higher salary in the USA, just so you know. Okay?
Yeah, just from comparable places.
So again, bear in mind, if you're earning $1,100 a month.
On the high end of middle class.
Yes, okay. Let's go back to those numbers quickly. So if you're earning $1,100 a month, does anything here look like it's even slightly affordable? You know?
The social programs in America are like way more deficient than the ones in Europe.
Yeah.
The social programs in America compared to China are an absolute communist paradise.
Yeah.
It makes China look like a horrifying wasteland.
I mean, seriously, so if you get a broken leg, I just want to show this. If you get a broken leg, you have to pay half a year's salary, half a year of your earnings to fix that broken leg in that hospital, if you live in that city, in that area where the hospital is, if you're earning money there. So you have to take that into consideration, you know? And it really boils my blood when you've got these people posting this false propaganda. It's lying by omission with a lot of this stuff. And it's just outright lying as well, okay, with so many things. So again, just had to point that out. You always have to take into consideration, if you were working there, if you were a Chinese person and you were in that area, you were earning your salary of $1,100 US dollars. That's the top, by the way, a month. And you had to go to that hospital. You'd think it's just as bad as people here in America going to see those crazy bills in the hospitals here. It's the same deal.
Yeah.
It's not better.
No.
You know, it's cheaper because that's just how it is. You know, you're in China. So let's take a quick look again at the genesis of this. Okay, well, actually, no. Can you explain what this is?
So this Wall Street bets, what is it, Wall Street?
Apes.
Wall Street Apes account was not the first to share this. So this wasn't made for Wall Street Apes.
No.
This is just an account that picked it up and it got lots and lots of traction on
This is where it gets very sinister.
So what I did was I tracked it. I did a reverse image search and I was looking around at the different accounts that started putting this video out. Turns out it was from a week before it was posted on this Wall Street Apes.
Yes.
So I wanted to find out the genesis of it. I wanted to find out where this is coming from because this was being spread around by tons of Chinese propaganda amplifier accounts.
Yes, all these things you can see
You can
here.
play it. It's like a video, I guess.
Okay. It came from TikTok. It came from all these places. But these are all Chinese propaganda amplifiers, right?
Yes, yes. So it's looking like when I'm going through this that I did find the genesis of it because the date of this particular video was the earliest one. And it made sense because it was posted on this mitra.com.
Remember we told you to take a look?
It checks out because this watermark is floating around the video the entire time that says it's mitra.com.
Right.
So I find the Genesis account that posts it about a week and 2 days or something before the Wall Street Ape account, right?
Yes, yes.
And I look at this account and it says, I am Li Liang, working in foreign trade and hope to meet more friends. This is literally a CCP account. This is when you go through those like think tank things like ASPI and stuff, and they do those reports on these accounts that only push Chinese propaganda and are completely fake, that should be removed from these platforms like TikTok, like Twitter.
Yep.
These accounts proliferate on things like Twitter. And if this wasn't proof that Twitter is a piece of shit, I mean, not Twitter, TikTok's a piece of shit.
Yeah, TikTok, yeah.
If this is not...
You're not wrong about Twitter. I mean,
if this is not proof to you, then I don't know what to tell you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, there's thousands and thousands of these accounts that TikTok says, no, there's no Chinese propaganda accounts on our platform.
Yeah.
So this account is relatively new, and all they do is pump out People's Liberation Army propaganda, Xi Jinping propaganda.
you can already see, look at all
bad,
this.
America's horrible propaganda.
Don't
China's
they put out
better
like 100
propaganda.
videos a day or something?
Something, I mean, like a lot.
Yeah.
Right? An absolute metric shit ton of videos they're pumping out every day. This
Yes.
is not a human being behind this.
No, it's a bot.
These are bots, right? So this video looks to have originated on said account.
Yes,
right?
well, it did.
It did.
It absolutely did.
So yes, I mean,
'Cause it's got the watermark.
What I'm trying to say is, when I was looking at it, I was like, it looks like this. Turns out it is. So the first time this is posted is on this account. It's this guy, this South African American guy, right?
Yes.
And they go and post this, and it serves as a platter to serve all the amplifiers. They go, we got some hot, fresh bullshit propaganda here that the Chinese government paid
America
for.
bad, China good. Yes.
The Chinese government pays for these videos. They go and get someone to do the video for them. So they'll have a crew. You just hold a phone.
Yeah.
And then they'll have somebody in the propaganda department that said, we got an order from the top from whatever department in the CCP. We really want to push this idea that America's medical system is bad because we know Americans are pissed off with their medical system.
Yes.
So let's do a video where we lie about how awesome China's horrible medical system is.
Yes.
We'll say how cheap it is. We'll come up with all these bullet points. We'll even ask DeepSeek.
Yeah.
We'll say, we'll ask DeepSeek what pisses off Americans most about their medical system, and we'll do counter propaganda for them. So we'll go get an American guy. We'll get him to go read this script, right?
Yeah.
Very clearly a script. This guy didn't come up with it. This guy, I'm looking at you right now. Day-Lo.
Yeah, exactly.
Sick song, by the way. But Day-Lo, he didn't come up with this script.
No.
He's reading a script.
Yeah.
So when you go through, you see the Chinese grammar. You pick up on things. If you're a Chinese speaker, you start to...
They were so
realize
perfect
this.
and didn't make any mistakes.
I mean, it's the dumbest shit
so
ever.
hardworking. And come on, no one makes that up by themselves.
No. The problem is I go through this account.
Yes.
Right. I start to see some very, very bad, worrying things. Now, the thing on the left is just absolutely outlandish.
We have
to show you this. So
Okay.
before we get into the bad stuff, I want to show you this AI video of a fake American soldier and what he says on this account because we're trying to figure this out.
Help us out with this. Can we watch this?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Thought we needed some humor.
Yes.
And I made a leap.
Sorry, the bad one. We'll do the bad one.
Yeah, the bad ones.
We'll do the bad one first.
This is not AI. This is real.
So this... Can we watch the clip first?
Okay.
There is a least. So the type of message that this pro-U.S. propaganda is spreading as truth is that the United States is generally a paradise, that everyone has high income, and that there is a relatively very low cost of living.
What's that?
Yes.
This is very important.
Do you know why?
Why?
When this whole Red Note, remember this TikTok refugee thing where they opened up Red Note? It was quite interesting because there was this whole flood of people going there and saying, wow, China's much better than we thought. We've been lied to.
Chinese government did this on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, China's amazing and it's great there. And why did we never know this? But it was a double-edged sword because Chinese people were interacting with Americans for the first time, really. And when they started to ask basic questions like, how much do you earn? And Americans were telling them their basic salary. Chinese people were shocked at how much Americans were making.
Because China's not cheap anymore.
Yes. But they were literally shocked. They were like, holy crap, you're in like an entry-level job. You're like flipping McDonald's burgers and you're earning way more than like a top engineer.
Than a PhD.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, what's going on here? So very quickly... the censors had to come out and shut down those conversations.
In fact, what we saw was on Red Note that you were allowed to say you're a poor American, but they would literally shadow ban you if you said that you earned a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you said you were a poor Chinese, they would shadow ban you. If you said you're a rich Chinese, you were allowed. This was a huge ploy. Now, why is this important to this clip? I don't know who you are. I'm speaking to you on the screen right now. This woman here is reading a Chinese script, and I can tell you, I can prove this to you. The subtitles are actually the same, but are a little bit different because they're supposed to be going towards a Chinese audience.
Yes, and it says 很多中国人, but then she says like lots of people.
Yes, she's not actually saying the exact words on there.
Yeah.
And the grammar, by the way, I love how people think they can get away with this.
Yeah.
She's pretending to be like, I made a list. You didn't make a list. You didn't make shit because you got paid or incentivized by a Chinese person in the Chinese government to do this video because it lines up perfectly with that date of when this was happening. Number two, you're saying Chinese grammar. So unless you went and you're born and you lived in China and now somehow you have a perfect American accent and you're now reading English, you for some reason decided to choose completely Mandarin Chinese grammar. You can't fool a English and Chinese speaker.
Yes.
You're speaking Chinese in English, right?
Yes.
So you didn't make this up. You're reading a script. And I want to give you an out because we don't want to start digging into. I mean, we do like to start digging because that's how we end up with these videos.
We dig.
But I don't want to start digging too much into this if it can be easy. I would love to know. We would both love to know who did this. We'll keep you anonymous. Find a way to reach out to us. We want to know who sent you this. who is behind this, because this is just the tip of the frickin' iceberg.
Yeah.
We're getting these Americans to go read these anti-America, pro-China scripts.
Yes.
Definitely a Chinese government campaign. We
Correct.
would love to get to the bottom of it. If we can make it as easy as possible, we can do more.
Yeah.
So we would love to know. We'll keep you anonymous. We don't know what your account is because you're just being posted on these amplifiers for Chinese government. You are on, whether you like it or not, you are on a Chinese government amplifier account right now. This is where this video is from.
And the whole purpose why they paid you or incentivized you to read this script anyway is so that they could use you as anti-American propaganda, as you are being used right now. So just bear that in mind. If you ever get an opportunity like this, you might be the one up on the screen right now reading some script and being used as a tool of the Chinese government's propaganda machine.
And it would be super helpful to be able to see who's behind this nefarious campaign.
Yeah, reach out.
So anyway, as I went through this account, I saw stuff like this. I also saw an absolute...
Can we see this
Yes,
ridiculous
we
thing?
can.
Can
Let's
we?
just play.
They also believe that we have lots of welfare and lots of like really strong social programs,
Well, guess what you do in America?
Yes.
stronger than theirs, and
Yes, it is stronger than theirs.
theirs are pretty strong.
I heard from a Chinese
Okay, wait.
I know.
Okay, this, guys, please help us out here. Help us out. This is on the same channel.
friend that smashing a haunted toilet can bring me financial freedom. But it should be noted that such a statement has no scientific basis, and smashing facilities may also cause property damage and violate relevant regulations.
That's a
and I
Chinese
want to
phrase.
give it a try.
Hold on. He wants to give smashing a haunted toilet.
Yeah, first of all, what is going? I got weird images in my head.
Yeah, he smash your pass toilet.
Like this ghost
haunted
toilet, this
version.
ghost toilet.
You're playing Smash or Pass with toilets on Halloween.
Oh, man.
Anyway, this an AI fake soldier, American soldier, trying to smash a toilet, but
Yeah.
he uses the Chinese phrase "relevant regulations."
Yes, exactly.
Which is very funny. Anyway, that's a joke that was
Yes.
on there, but it's a very bad account. This is
Yes.
a very, very bad account. TikTok's obviously not doing anything about these Chinese propaganda accounts, anti-American accounts.
What they do is this amplifier account that we found, the Mitra, that is the genesis of the clip that was shared by Wall Street Apes.
Yeah.
It's the genesis of that. It is a propaganda amplifier account directly from the Chinese government.
So what we found is that other amplifiers, and we've seen this, there was actually an article the other day about how China's using AI to translate things into Spanish to target Latino Americans.
Yes.
So that they hate America and then side with China. And there's a huge campaign. And the fact that this was used in that means that this bro, Daylo, you're being used in like a really
look at this.
nefarious campaign.
Acceso rapido.
Yeah,
you know,
for
it's
sure.
the same talking points have now been completely translated into Spanish.
Yes.
Okay.
Moving on, we got a little deeper here. And I
I'm an
wanted to
American
point
and
this out. I was able to track down this other video, which was on another account.
Yes.
There are tens of thousands of these accounts pumping out sewage, straight up anti-America, pro-Chinese campaigns, right?
Yes.
It's very funny. They hired the same guy to do another one about how he went to a traditional medicine.
Yeah,
Chinese
let's take a
traditional
look.
See a
doctor.
traditional Chinese doctor.
Yeah.
Traditional Chinese medicine has always fascinated me as it's a practice that has been around for thousands of years. Once I saw the doctor, he checked my tongue, felt my pulse, and studied my visual appearance. After that, he did acupuncture on me for an hour. He also placed some type of contraption on my back. Can anyone tell me what this is? Overall, the doctor was very considerate. He sent me home with some traditional herbal tea.
I just came back from my treatment and I feel very relaxed.
Now,
It's kind of dubbed, isn't it? Okay, first of all, when you see this American guy experiences traditional Chinese medicine, that's one of the telltale signs that this is propaganda. When they're like, America doesn't have this, but China does.
Yes.
You know, or Americans shocked, you know, Chinese train station or whatever. You know what I mean? So whenever you see this very blatant America versus China type propaganda, you know it's propaganda. Now, I'm going to say best case scenario, this guy tried to make his own propaganda videos because he wanted to go viral or something, and it was picked up by the propaganda departments and disseminated. I'm just giving him like I'm saying best case scenario.
No, it's impossible because
Right.
it's a Chinese script.
Yeah, okay. It is
No,
a
it's
Chinese.
literally impossible.
Yeah,
He doesn't
you're
speak
right.
Chinese.
No, he doesn't speak Chinese. And you're right. I just said best case scenario. You got to give him an out.
That's
right?
like a 0.001%.
Yeah, exactly. 0.001. No, not even
Yeah,
one.
just keep going.
Point
Yeah, yeah.
recurring.
Yeah.
003. Okay, anyway, the fact of the matter is
Well, the
this
tea doesn't
is
taste
pure
great, but I can
propaganda.
feel it working in my body. Personally, I'm really interested by traditional Chinese medicine and looking forward to learning more about it. What is
Looking
your
forward,
experience with traditional medicine?
So
Let me know.
I'll tell you what that is. Okay, that's a Xi Jinping campaign.
Yes.
So they're trying to, it's part of Jianghao Zhongguo Gushi, is to push
Yes.
Chinese medicine amongst foreigners and to get it to export across the world. In fact, there are some sick, crazy, corrupt stories going on right now across even America with this influence.
Yeah.
So that's part of that. It's not, it looks like it's some sort of innocuous thing. It's not.
Yep.
It's always from the top and it's always something bad. It's to disrupt the U.S. and push Chinese soft power.
Yes.
And the reality of the situation is this guy's probably in a bunch of these. I've already gotten inklings that he's trying to dig his way out of this, as we've seen evidently somewhere else.
Exactly.
Point is, I don't really care. What I care about is the reality. And the reality of the situation is in China, the healthcare system is abysmal. In fact, it's one of the worst ones I've seen in my whole life, and I've been to like 30 countries.
Yeah.
It is the worst medical experience I've ever had. I lived there 10 years. I had doctors smoking in my face. I had people prescribing me antibiotics for breaking a bone. I had people prescribing me antibiotics for breaking my heel.
Yes.
I had doctors that had literally no clue what they were doing. They supposedly went to medical school and didn't know any terminology. It is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I used to train doctors,
Yes.
so I know. And in fact,
In the best city.
dude, there was this big university games for the university games. It's like the Olympics for universities. It's called the Universiade in 2012, I believe. And a big part of the preparation is I was going around to test the different clinics to see if they were ready in case a foreign athlete got hurt.
Right.
And they had set up in the athletes' village a very high-tech clinic with like one of those X-ray machines you sit on and it moves you around. I had to help them test all the equipment and stuff. And part of the whole process is I had to pretend that I had sprained my ankle.
Whole process democracy?
Yes. So I walk in there and I'm limping in and, I have to pretend, right? So, because, I used to train all these guys, but I limp in and these guys come and they're like, oh, how can I help you? And they're very broken English type thing, trying their best. And then the ladies take me up to the doctor who takes my pulse and looks at me and stuff. And I'm like, and I had to pretend I can't speak Chinese. My ankle's hurting and stuff. He prescribed me antibiotics. But not only did he prescribe me antibiotics, he prescribed an antibiotic that I'm allergic to.
For a hurt ankle.
For a sprained ankle. He gave me something that if I had taken it would have killed me. Okay, and this is like when you've got billions. I'm talking billions of dollars were thrown at this. They built stadiums for this, okay? Huge thing. Big, massive. And the doctor wanted to kill me. And you know what? They were so lucky because during that entire university games, the only thing that happened was someone got heat stroke.
That was it.
That was
some
it.
of this footage about the reality.
Okay, this is the reality of Chinese
So in
hospitals.
China, that's a great story to prove that. I'll tell you, it's 10 times worse than that when you leave a major epic city.
Of course.
Like that you were in.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's incredibly crowded.
Oh, let me turn it on.
The cacophony of noise, the people, you are going to wait a long time. In fact, you could die in the process of waiting. It is a vile experience. It is a nauseatingly long process to be seen by a doctor.
This, by the way, we got this footage fresh.
This is brand new.
Fresh off of
Brand
Douyin,
new.
which is
Brand new.
Chinese TikTok. I've got my own footage which can corroborate this from all the hospitals I used to visit. It hasn't
This
changed.
is, by the way, just people posting, oh, I'm at the hospital.
Yeah,
like,
this
here's
wasn't
my
like
blog.
people complaining.
No.
This is just like, my visit to the hospital.
Yep.
This is more a realistic view because it's not
in a nice
propaganda.
city, though. Also
Yeah.
in nice cities. They're not going to show you the bad rules.
No, for sure.
Now, the problem is that in China, if you find any of these Chinese government apologists, right?
Yeah.
And they have a medical problem, 100% of the time, these people leave China to fix their problems. And
Yes.
I dare you to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Pick the top shills, and I'll tell you, they go and they try to go to the doctors and specialists around China, and all of them go abroad for medical
First
treatment.
they go to that Hong Kong University Specialist Hospital in Shenzhen.
Yep.
And then from there, they end up going abroad. They either go into Hong Kong or they go somewhere else.
Somebody I knew had a stomach problem. They cut out 80% of his stomach, and he ultimately, more or less succumbed to his injuries.
Succumb to the screw up that they did.
The screw up that they did. My point is there's complications afterwards because of that. When he visited the hospital system in the U.S., do you know what happened?
What?
The doctors told him that surgery was completely unnecessary in China.
Yeah, that's what he had done.
Yes. This is the situation.
Yeah.
People don't know what they're doing. It sucks. It's dirty. It's crowded. It's loud. And it's miserable.
Okay, so now listen, guys. I'm sure we've made our point that video that was posted is bullshit. Okay, you can see a bull over here, you know?
I mean, you called the frickin' hospital.
Yeah. I used to work in that hospital. I know it's bullshit. You can't pull the wool over my eyes because I was there, okay? Right. That's the city I lived in for 14 years. It was my profession, all right? So I got a very personal connection to this, and it made me mad when I saw this guy going in there pretending like it only cost him $4 to do everything.
And America's bad.
And America's bad. Right. This guy is clueless, doesn't know what the hell's going on. But what made me even more mad is the fact that mainline Chinese propaganda coming from Beijing to destabilize America, paint America as a baddie and China as a goodie, and China is far ahead and far more advanced than America, is being posted by massive accounts like this that are followed by the most richest man in the world, some of the most powerful, influential people in the world, and getting millions of views. By people look at this kind of account and they trust what they see because their influencers, the people that they look up to, follow this account. This is not some rinky-dink little place that's like putting out Chinese propaganda. Not one of those little propaganda amplifiers that we showed you earlier. But this massive account is sharing mainline Chinese communist propaganda. And it pisses me off because it's gotten to this point.
It's not fact-checked.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point now where it's no longer just like a tinfoil hat thing or, oh, look, here's a little college student who believes Che Guevara was cool sharing something. We're talking about the mainstream is taking bullshit Chinese propaganda and shoving it out there, platforming it without knowing anything, saying that you don't need an appointment, saying that you get all your tests done in the same day and you get to see a specialist and all this kind of crap without waiting, and it only costs $4. China's a paradise. It's way better than America. America has problems. Bullshit. Everything in that tweet is garbage. All right? You can get your blood tests done in the same day in a Chinese hospital. Yes, I've had that myself. Guess what? I've had that here too. When I go get my lab in the morning, I go onto my little portal. My blood results are there on the same day.
In many cases, you can talk to your doctor and see if you need to go see them.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Get on a telehealth call. You can do it's very convenient, right? Not to say that isn't wildly expensive and a lot of people can't afford it. It's horrible. But don't use Chinese propaganda to prove that point. That's my problem.
As a foreigner that came to America, I got to say that the healthcare system in America is one of the biggest problems. Not the healthcare itself. It's actually the best in the world.
Oh, yeah, in terms of quality.
When you actually go in there, I mean, they have to do a good job because you're paying so bloody much.
Yes,
and if you didn't get like perfect service, I'd be rioting in the streets. Okay, because like you've just taken half my salary every month to do what, you know? But quite honestly, they give you the best care. You have access to the best medical system in the world here. It's incredibly expensive, and that's a prohibitive thing. And this whole health insurance thing, it's like a big mafia kickback BS. But that's a debate for another time. What I'm here to do is point out Chinese propaganda and point out the fact that trusted big accounts are now sharing Chinese propaganda. And people are taking it serious.
That's really scary.
And it's not okay.
It's really scary to me because we can see through Chinese propaganda. That's what we're experts at, right?
Yes.
Don't share that stuff. And by the way, I do want to throw something out there. Just because you follow this account doesn't mean you endorse it. My problem I have with is that when they're sharing it, it's going to those people. And maybe if they don't know any better, you might think it's real. That's my problem.
Of course it does, because if you're a normal dude
Yeah.
and you don't know much about China, you're not paying attention, and you go to an account which is followed by the people that you trust, the people that you know, the people that you follow, like Joe Rogan and whoever else, and you're like, hey, look, this account, I can trust it, right? Because all these other big names follow it, and then they put out Chinese propaganda. Of course, you're going to trust that. You're going to look at this stupid guy walking around pretending like it's paradise to go to a hospital in China, and you're going to be like, "Wow, America sucks and China's great."
Unfiltered breaking news. Please fact check. And when you put something out, please maybe just don't. I guess I have a problem with putting out adversarial propaganda.
Yeah,
like. I know you're not going to go as an account, like I'm not talking to this account, but any account. They're not going to go out and call the hospital like you did. They're not going to go out and like talk to the doctors. I understand that, right?
I used to work in that hospital.
Listen to me.
You know?
I get they're not going to do that. I don't even expect that, right?
Sure.
That's what we do, right?
Yeah.
But don't just put something out at face value, right? I wouldn't go put out something like, I mean, we're unaffiliated with anyone, right?
Sure.
But I wouldn't go put out something that's like, some random video of someone glazing the U.S. government or something.
No, of course not.
Without looking into it myself, right?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Let me just quickly go back to the original tweet so that we can look at what was said about this Chinese propaganda. American goes to see a doctor in China. He describes the process. No appointment needed. Just walk in. You don't need to see a primary care doctor before seeing the specialist. Yeah, it's the same when you go to urgent care. Appointments and test results are same day. Cost was $4. Something is very wrong in America. All of this is not factual. And do you see how damaging this is? Because this is just propaganda. This is the definition of propaganda.
Well, the Chinese government made this video.
Yes.
That's the problem.
This is the definition of propaganda.
If you're going to put out fake stuff, please don't put out an adversarial government's propaganda from their top government.
Yes.
That's my problem.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Don't put that out for Americans, please.
Yeah, and I mean, you're sharing a clip that has a URL in it, and if you did a little bit of fact checking, you would see that URL, that mitra.com, is literally a Chinese PLA like spam bot that puts out like how much better the fighter jets of the PLA
Oh, and more stuff.
and
More
like
stuff.
terrible things
and like
about
things
America.
to disrupt the U.S.
Yeah, that's who you're endorsing. You didn't even take the URL out. I mean, like you're literally endorsing a propaganda, whatever it is, amplifier.
And we could do this all day. This is happening across the board. People
Yes.
are doing this across the board. It's not just this account. It's a lot of accounts.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate.
It is.
You know?
I'm actually just sorry if I got a bit heated there, but this propaganda infiltration from China is pissing me off, and it's pissing me off that trusted sources are now sharing out garbage propaganda from China, and people are believing it. You know what I mean? Like, what does this world come into?
I remember you left my spirit.
Dude, does that look comfortable to you?
In fact, this is the most dystopian nightmare of non-reality that you can't do.
Yeah.
I think it's mushrooms mixed
Which
with
doesn't make it better.
Slices of grapefruit. We have the lamest YouTube names
We do.
ever. He is not the victim.
But he's a flowery public thing. I mean, she had a lot of space to go take a dump in the back there. We've got nice questions. Okay, pleasant questions. In the black bag, we've got nasty questions.
How would you explain your kinkiest impulse to your grandma without her disowning you if she were alive?
Wow.